My brother's wife stood up at my parents' anniversary dinner and said, he pushed me against the wall and put his hands on me. Everyone attacked me. My mom dropped her glass, and my brother Miles grabbed me by the shirt and said, you better tell me this isn't true. I said, are you serious right now? Carmen, I never touched you. She dabbed her eyes and turned to my parents and said, this is exactly what I expected. He pretends like it never happened. You all know he blacks out and forgets entire days since his accident. He probably has no idea he even did it. I felt the air leave my lungs. Carmen knows about my memory issues, and she was using them against me. Miles got in my face and said, do you remember that night or not? I tried to think back, but there was nothing there. He grabbed my shoulders and shook me and said, answer me. I said, I don't know. Miles looked over at my girlfriend Jade and said, you believe this, right? You see what he's doing? Jade wouldn't even lift her head. She just kept staring at the floor. Carmen grabbed Miles' arm and said, I want to go to the police. I want to go right now. My mom had to grab the counter to keep herself standing. Miles let go of me and stepped back like I was contagious. The ring in my pocket felt like it weighed 100 pounds. Miles dragged me inside and told me to stay in the living room while they sorted this out. He came back a few minutes later and his face was twisted with rage. He said, you're done. I don't want you near Carmen ever again, and I'm telling everyone what kind of person you really are. I asked him to just listen to me for a second and he said, I don't want to hear your voice right now. I said, I swear I didn't do anything. He punched the wall next to my head and screamed, then why can't you just say that? Why do you keep hesitating? I didn't have an answer. My mom came in next and her eyes were swollen and red. She stood in the doorway and said, I can't believe I raised someone capable of this. Then she walked away before I could get a single word out. I sank into the couch feeling like the walls were closing in. Then I heard Carmen's voice floating through the window, telling Miles that she had been researching protective orders all week. My whole body went cold. That's when Jade walked in and leaned against the doorframe with her arms folded tight. She was quiet for a while. Then she asked me what night Carmen was even talking about. I said it was the night of her flat tire. Jade's expression shifted. She asked me if I knew where I was. I shook my head. She said, you were at my place the whole night. You slept on my couch because you had to take me to get my car fixed the next morning. I just stared at her. She asked about the night before. I shrugged. She said, we went to that new pasta place downtown. I still have the confirmation email. She pulled out her phone and started tapping through it. I asked her what she was about to do. She headed for the back door and said, Carmen is going to explain this to my face. I followed her outside and Carmen was still pressed against Miles, acting terrified. Jade walked straight up to her and asked, what time did he supposedly do this? Carmen sniffled and said, after everyone went to bed. Jade holds up her phone and says, interesting because he was passed out on my couch until noon the next day, and I have pictures with timestamps. My mom turns to Carmen and asks, could you be thinking of a different night, sweetie? Carmen's face twitches and she says, maybe it was the night before. Jade pulls up the email and says, he was with me then too, eating pasta and watching bad movies. Try again. Miles steps toward Carmen and says, just tell me when this happened. Carmen's voice starts cracking and she says, I know it was sometime that week. Jade crosses her arms and says, name literally any night. I'll wait all day. Carmen shoves Miles off of her and screams, why do you all always believe him over me? He was about to propose and have everything while I'm trapped in a dead marriage with nothing to show for it. Nobody moves. Miles just stares at Carmen like he married a complete stranger. I proposed to Jade the next month. My parents and brother apologized for everything. Carmen moved out and Miles filed for divorce before the year ended. Full story on channel, linked below.